8:30. Excuse you, Rachel. It is 11:30.
Joke's
You need
on
to
you.
get out of the past.
Joke's on you. It's 10:30 for me.
Step
You
into
need
the
to get out. You need to get out of the damn future.
Listen. So
It's actually nice down here.
Good
I feel like I'm in my natural habitat.
evening, everybody. Happy
Hello. Let me
October.
get back to. Oh,
It is
right.
officially fall now.
It
You
is.
good there, Peachy?
Yeah, I'm tall again. Don't worry.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to
How are we doing in the smothered environments? We have. Why don't you do the introductions, Fair Queen, since you are the one who prolifered this guest.
All right. So this Viking-looking motherfucker that's currently sitting here is my friend. We played D&D together, and he only lives like 30 minutes away from me. I invited him on because he definitely has some mothered or smothered stories, and we'll be doing some questions for him too. But I'll let him introduce himself so he can choose how he wants to be called.
I don't care what you call me. You can call me what you want.
My vote is Viking bitch.
I don't care what you call me. You can call me fucking anything you want. I'm not gonna care.
Okay, anything you want. Welcome to the show. We are happy
Welcome,
to have you
welcome.
on.
You're lucky I closed my sound pad. I could have very easily done something.
You forget, sir, I have the power.
Just don't get us slapped by Twitch or YouTube, and we really don't care.
Oh, specifically, this happened on Xylie's channel. So she played the Among Us sound, like the sound of when you start the game and you're the imposter, and
Yeah.
she had her channel nuked for not nuked, but like
She got a strike.
she got a strike for it.
Yeah,
just the sound itself.
Well,
So-
let's
Anyone
see
gets
here.
me striked, I'm sending them the bill.
Well, let's see
Okay.
here. Do you think you're gonna get a strike for getting the Taco Bell bong,
You could.
or the Hell's Kitchen SFX violin?
You
I don't
could.
know, how
anything,
spicy are they feeling?
anything licensed can get us nuked. Anything licensed. The rule used to be 15 seconds, but I played a 12-second license video and they demonetized me.
Oh wow!
Too many, and I had to mute that entire section of the video. So I play it safe now. If it is not royalty free, we don't play it.
It's amazing.
Peachy got us hit one time on YouTube for watching Blue's Clues.
I just wanted to see Steve again.
The BBC took me out for freaking watching a whale thing. So yeah, no,
Baby Shark.
no, actual like we were watching a little thing on the Star Murata show about orcas, and yeah, they tapped me.
Oh wow!
Let's see here.
Something.
Rachel, hello. I see you brought your normal spicy self. Uriah, hi there. Aaron, hello. Nice to see you again. Lunil.
Oh wait, I didn't.
Good
I
evening.
just saw that. All right. Emotional damage.
That one you can do, not like.
Jay,
Well, yeah,
Leslie,
that's
how's it going?
That's just from a
How's it
YouTube
going
video.
with you?
Well, no,
Going
because
good
some
here.
YouTubers license their stuff too.
Zamaria, hi.
Yeah, those guys are
Hi,
assholes.
Zamaria.
I mean, they gotta make their money too. That's why we're very careful.
Did I say you could leave? Go do the dishes.
Steven, rewind time.
I love those segments. I haven't seen them in a while though. You know. Speaking of YouTuber, you know what YouTuber I haven't seen in like forever? Is he still doing things? Remember Niga Higa?
Nope.
No, I never watched it.
Higa? Yeah.
Niga Higa? Does he still do things? I think the last time I heard of him, he was doing
I think
a
the last
podcast.
video I watched of his was how to be politically correct, which was a great video.
What was it? Oh, he did a COVID-19 thing. It's been 3 years. Oh no! I guess he decided to just take a break or not do it anymore. Oh, got burned out. I hope he's living his best life.
I mean, his humor wouldn't have held up,
True.
to be honest. Like, people would have came after him so bad.
I think he knew. He might have known that too.
Could have been.
To
He
be
might have
fair-
got out while the getting was good.
To be fair, Wormwood, the reason why YouTube isn't nearly as, Wild West as it used to be is times changed, and YouTube as a whole just kind of changed. Sadly, well, it's not just that, but like, if you actually paid attention to the whole thing, it really started going downhill after PewDiePie did the whole the little joke with the two Indian guys or wherever.
Oh,
the guys
you're
that were like
talking
holding
about.
up the signs and whatnot, and that basically caused the first adpocalypse, which is basically all of the, advertisers. They didn't want to go with YouTube anymore because, well, their number one spokesperson just made a joke saying all Jews must die. So
yeah, let's not even repeat that on here. Seriously, even saying that. But
On behalf of my
yeah, like
2% Jewish lineage, I am offended.
but it's like, so the thing is, like, yeah, that's part of it, but that's why I'm saying the thing is, it also is corporation. So when Google bought them, that's when everything changed, because then what they did is they started focusing on whatchamacallit. They started focusing on what is licensed, what is not, who can they tap this, who can they take money for that. So the apocalypse definitely. I was not around for the apocalypse, thank God. I was too busy being broke.
Hey, same.
Hey.
Who loves being poor? Me, baby.
Hey.
I guess we should be the poor gals.
Lottie,
guys
hello.
podcast.
Welcome in,
There's a
Lottie.
thing.
And Tanya, welcome in.
Hello, everyone.
But all right, kids. So what is the subject tonight, dudes and dudettes?
I say, since there's 4 of us, like I did the last few times we had guests, let's just do some cues and A the hell out of them.
Yeah, but I mean, for what? Like, they need to know. They need to know why the gentleman is
Okay.
here.
I will start. So Viking bitch. You are our guest, and you can decide how much you're willing to share. But considering the spirit of this podcast, what is your favorite mom story?
My favorite story?
Yes.
About your mother.
What stands out?
I don't know. The time she sent me through a goddamn blizzard to get her a soda.
But was she having a sugar episode?
No. She just wanted to Diet Pepsi.
I know which story stands out for me, but I'm not sure if I'm okay if you want me to tell her or not.
So, did she like threaten you or?
No, she just wanted me to go.
Oh.
And then when she wants me to do something, she basically says, "You're gonna do it."
Hmm.
And if I complain, she just sits there and bitches for like all day.
Hmm.
Do you have any good like? Is there anything that you and your mom get along with? Like, is there any like of that situation where like you can be like, yeah, my mom's cool about this, or yeah, I can understand my mom about this.
To answer your question, Rachel, I do not have a steady 9 to 5, and I already have a girlfriend. So
Rachel, sit down. He's not even 21. Sit down.
Your offer, but I just joined, man. Come on.
He's not even old. This is just how Rachel is. So ignore her. But Rachel, sit down. He's not even 21. He's not even old enough to drink yet. Okay.
Rachel, he's a baby.
He's a baby.
Wait, how old are you?
Younger than you, babe.
You're 20?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm no longer a baby. Aha! I am superior in some way. It feels good.
Rachel, why are you blatantly trying to cheat on me and Star San, like in front of our faces?
Right? It's because I'm old and fat. Now she's thrown me out for the younger pup.
Oh, that's how it is.
It's always the way. That damn patriarchy.
So
Spoiled again.
during the storm, did you? How long was the journey? Like how long? How big of a walk? was it from your house to the store?
About a mile and a half walk there, mile and a half walk back.
During like what? How bad was the blizzard?
It was bad.
It's a blizzard.
What do you,
I don't know. In good
What
old...
do you think a blizzard is?
No, okay.
A
Hear
blizzard
me
in
out.
North
Hear me.
Carolina is 3 inches, so
In good old New England, like blizzards vary. Like there's a
Blizzards are
blizzard that's
14
big
Honey.
and there's a blizzard
White
that's
out.
bad enough.
oh, you live in New England? Are you gonna
No,
take
no, no,
some-
no. The area. Okay, she lives in the area of the United States that's known as New England.
Oh,
Honey,
okay.
We live in Iowa.
Look, us
Like-
getting,
like-
us getting like a blizzard here is like phenomenal.
Do you want to see a picture? I'll send you a picture.
it's probably just like Massachusetts, honey.
Ooh.
I remember Massachusetts. I miss Massachusetts.
I will send you a picture for reference, Peachy.
You must be talking about like the there's parts of Massachusetts that you pictures.
But
I got you, Peachy.
Maine,
I got you.
Maine is the worst. Rhode Island can get so the worst of the blizzards. If you go through Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, which are the 3 main of of New England, you're getting 3 to 5 feet of snow at least 2 to 3 times during the winter, as late as May, and as early as October.
now see, here in Iowa, we're lucky if we even get snow when we're supposed to get snow. For like the past few years, just last year, that was the first time in, I don't know, like the past decade, we've had an on-time winter. I'm not even joking.
Right, I believe it, but that's why when Peachy asks that, because New England, it is not a question of if you're going to get snow, it's will we not have snow during Thanksgiving?
But yeah, no, it was a blizzard. It sucked. And the best part is this was before, so where I lived basically right next to like a very busy street, right?
Mm-hmm.
In an apartment complex. And that street did not have sidewalks.
Ooh.
It had basically highway edges.
Oh, so like all of North Carolina, I hate those things.
And it didn't have bike roads or bike trails or anything like that yet. So they would never plow the sides. The sides would just pile up. But there was a bridge along the way, and that bridge would always be done. So for the majority of the time that I was walking to the store and back, I had to walk on the very edge of the road,
Ooh.
which is a not fun experience when it is also packed.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's awful.
Now, are you still around your mom right now? Like same house situation?
We moved to a different house, arguably a worse house, and I hate it here.
Oh.
Wait, are you still in the same place that I know you to be?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is still the place where we're stuck on 10 megabyte per second internet, and we have to pay $70 a month for it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Are you looking to move out of the state or the area, or just still looking, or?
The plan currently is for. So my grandmother, I'm not going to get too in depth to it, but she's waiting on a prosthetic for a foot,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to go anywhere until she has got that foot, because we live relatively close. But
An understandable thing.
I'm mainly just tired of feeling like I'm getting used and emotionally manipulated by my family. So I'm planning on just, after she gets the prosthetic, making sure this place is spotless, and I don't care if she hasn't moved out by then. I'm just going to take myself off the lease and leave. I'll do it when she's not here. I don't care.
I can respect that. Understandable.
I definitely can understand that.
I had a question and it literally escaped me. Oh my god, what was it? Oh, okay.
Oh my-
If you must, I have terrible ADHD, and I'll be in the middle of a conversation and be like, "What was I talking about?" It hits different too when you're really tired and I'm exhausted. But I was actually, this is a very niche field of streaming and talking and whatnot. But ever you ever thought of taking up on that? Because you looks like you have the equipment.
I do well for one. Technically, I could if I really wanted to. I don't have privacy for that, and two, I live in an apartment complex, so I cannot be loud, which I am a naturally loud person, which I hate that. But yeah,
Even with the foam on the wall and whatnot, like ever you have a specific. How many rooms in your current apartment? Is it just like one big room? Is like
so the
His
only
room, his bedroom is a closet.
not anymore. It used to be.
Oh, you moved it?
Yeah. It was it's a walk-in closet that we have. I would show it, but I can't because this is stationary and I do not feel like moving.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll take your word for it. I understand too because I feel bad too because my brother and I live in a room. His bedroom is a literal closet. But there's a room upstairs that he can move his stuff into that's a lot bigger, and he's just like,
Maybe he chose that.
he
Look,
likes it.
okay, look,
he likes it. I don't like it.
I chose to live in that closet because at the time, this is only a 2-bedroom apartment. So my mom had a room and my brother had a room, and I just took the closet because that was the easiest space to take. It fit my desk, it fit my computer and all that, and it fit a foam mattress. So I had everything I needed except for outlets. So for a really long time, we had to use extenders connected to extenders.
That's not a fire hazard.
It's fine. Don't. It's fine.
It gets the job done.
It got the job done. Oh, that's even better. At the entrance of each room, there is a light switch that isn't for a light. It is to turn the power on or off. So if you turn it off, you turn off the electrical outlets.
Oh wow. Sounds like a smashing apartment complex.
We
It's
have one
terrible.
of those right over here. One of these turns off the outlets, but it only turns off the top outlets and all the outlets because it's set like that so we can do things like plug the lamps into it and
Mhm.
just use the light switch to flick those off without cutting power to the whole room.
The best part is none of these bedrooms have actual lights on the ceilings. We have to use lamps. The only room in this house that has a ceiling light is the goddamn closet.
But it's his closet.
This
You know
is
how-
mine.
You know how stupid that is? Oh, don't forget. There's no airflow in there. So if I don't have a fan in there on 24/7, it gets like I want to die.
This must be terrible in the summertime.
It is.
Oh.
We only have one AC,
Oh,
and it's in the living room.
Ooh. Did you sleep in the living room during that time when you used to be in the closet, or
No.
In the closet.
Welcome out of the closet. You're finally free.
Yay!
safe space?
I could really be as loud as I wanted in that closet. We would never get a noise complaint. But if I were to be like really loud at like 3 a.m. in like my mother's room next to me, I guarantee you we would get like a cop banging on our door, being like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Could you?
Peachy, I sent in the Discord. I sent a photo.
Ooh.
And that's just after a normal snow.
Let me see. I'll be the judge of that. Let me see what it looks like. Normal blizzard.
Excuse me?
I'll be the judge of that.
It looks like a typical New England snow.
I was gonna say we will be the judges of that because we
hit. We get hit.
I need you guys to understand that I have sometimes walked through snow and it was up to my chest. I've been able to dive off my front door when I lived in Rhode Island head first into the snow like I was diving into water.
We can get hit like that here too, but we get whiteouts here.
Yeah, that's an every year thing in Rhode Island.
I miss Massachusetts winters. I always liked it as a kid.
They're very pretty unless you have to shovel.
See, we lived in an apartment complex. We didn't have to shovel.
True. Very true. Because my dad, being old school, I love him to pieces. My brother and I will be minding our own business, like watching TV, right? And all of a sudden you hear, and it's him, Dad, coming up the stairs in all of his snow gear, and he'll look at my brother and go, "Get ready." And my brother's like, "What about Peachy?" And I'm like, "Do you want to help?" Nah. Nah. I'll make you cocoa, bro.
I will tell you right now, I very much miss
What a sister.
So they're outside shoveling, and I'm looking out the window drinking cocoa.
Wow.
And
That's my girl.
Now
I'd be the type of person that had insult to injury. I'd open the door drinking cocoa as they're out there shoveling and be like, "Hey guys, how cold is it out there?"
No, I mean, I've done it every now and then, but if it's too cold, I'm like, nah.
See, Faye, that's the moment where you always have like a supply of snow behind you. So when the door opens, you just pick up the shovel and chuck
it.
See, the beauty of it all is you always make sure that you offer some kind of help. Honey, I'll go clean off the cars, but you're going to shovel it out for me first.
No, I actually started for the last couple of years now. I would shovel the back deck so the dogs can go to the bathroom and whatnot. But other than that, my dog and my parents' puppy, little Cavapoo. He's the meanest, but he's the cutest little thing in the world. He's like a cat. I'll be petting him, and all of a sudden he'll growl at me like, "Don't touch me anymore." And I'm like, "Oh, he's fine."
Our old dog. Sadly, she had to be put down this year. But
I'm sorry, honey.
Sorry.
Before she got really bad, she had a really bad trachea. And she was a really grumpy old woman, to say the least. Before her trachea got like really bad, if she was comfortable in a spot and you went to go pick her up, she'd just go.
My parents' puppy does that.
She wouldn't ever like go to bite. She would just bitch.
No talk me, Angie. Like, no, I'm comfy. Don't pick me up. I've lived in a place where I had to take a snowmobile to the bottom of the mountain to meet up with the bus every time it snowed. Oh my goodness. That sounds fun, actually. I'm not going to lie. Taking a whole snowmobile down a mountain. That sounds wild.
You live in Florida? I feel sorry for you.
No, she grew up in Florida.
Oh,
now she lives in Michigan.
Oh,
yeah, the heat in Florida is no joke.
You grew up in Florida. I feel sorry for you.
Our winters can get pretty decently bad here too.
It depends. Usually, if it's a late winter, usually it's like maybe 1 or 2 weeks of bad snow. If it's an on-time winter, it's like every other week can get bad. It really just depends.
Lady Star Sam, we're gonna have to show them up at some point.
Sometime.
They don't understand.
Let me tell you something. When I first moved to North Carolina.
No. When I originally lived in Iowa, sorry, Starsen. When I originally lived, I lived a lot further north. We were one state away from, like, one section away from Canada. Like, a state difference away from Canada. I think it's bad here. That whole, like, up to your chest and snow thing, I experienced it up there. Like, we can get some, and I'm in the middle of the state. So we can get some bad winters here, but I would not want to live like, I think it's like 3-4 hours north.
Right, and that's where we lived. And see, for me, when I first moved to North Carolina, the year after I moved here, there was the Great Blizzard. And the Great Blizzard down here consisted of 5 inches of snow and sleet and black ice on the highways. This shut down North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, some of Virginia for 2 weeks.
Made in Georgia.
Kids were stuck in school. People couldn't get home. Here's why. Anyone who's lived where there's snow, let me see if anyone has an idea. I'll start with Peachy Peachy. What does the state do right before snow is about to fall where you are?
What do they do? They give you a blizzard
what do they
warning.
prepare for? What do they do?
You see like snow trucks and snowmobiles kind of driving around. You see them laying out the salt
Salting
already.
The roads.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
salt the road.
Yeah.
When the sleet starts, they're plowing. You know,
The
they're making
icing.
sure they're de-icing. This is not what North Carolina does, especially not in 2014.
Thoughts and prayers.
Nay. Here's what North Carolina does, kids. They make a salt slurry. And what a salt slurry is, it is a fine film of salt water that they leave on all the roads. But fun fact, every time it snows in North Carolina, it rains first. So they pretty much spend millions of dollars to salt the earth and the drainage. So that's the first thing that happens. As I'm sitting there and watching a pretty decent first snowfall come down, I'm watching the snowplows who are merely driving. They are not dropping any salt, and they are not plowing any snow. Well, I worked at a gas station at the time, and one of the snowplows pulled in to get some cigarettes and to get some gas, and I said, sir, why aren't they plowing the snow? Well, they ain't done snowing yet. And I was like, yes, sir, that is true. But
You make a fair point.
you make a fair argument, but sir, you guys should be dropping some salt. You should be plowing it up so it doesn't get thick and freeze. Well, little missy, that ain't how it works. And I was like, oh, little sir, let me tell you, I'm from a state that snows every week. And that's exactly how it works. And
Yeah.
well, it went like this. It would snow, then it would sleet, then it would stop for a little bit, and then rinse, lather, repeat.
And they go, ha, psych, and just get more.
And so what happened was all the roads in the area were this thick with ice.
Damn.
So everything shut down, including Walmart. Everything shut down.
Oh God, you know shit's gotten serious when Walmart's closing down.
The only things that didn't shut down were McDonald's, the gas stations, and the Chinese restaurants.
Obviously, you can't shut down McDonald's. It's like McDonald's is sometimes like a Waffle House. If the Waffle House
even shut down, they weren't open.
They'll never financially recover it. McDonald's, if you shut it down too long, people will realize that there are better options.
Funny?
And
Why
so
is
here's
that
the
funny?
craziest part. So I saw I can't find it, but when I tell you, it was like an episode of The Walking Dead. On a stretch of highway between South Carolina and Georgia, okay, there was some black ice patches. This stopped traffic for miles. People were out of their cars crying. It looked like a horror scene. They were like, ah! It was clear. There was light clouds, not even heavy clouds. That was it. And people were panicking on both sides of the highway. Kids were stuck at schools. When I tell you, it was the most retarded thing I'd ever seen in my life. And when my parents and my brother moved here, I warned them. See, because again, when you're in Rhode Island, if it's a heavy snow, some assholes will decide, we're going to go shopping. We're going to go look around. We're going to go have fun.
There are those, and they wear shorts.
They wear shorts.
They wear shorts.
That's my brother. I love him, but that's my brother. He's one of those people.
There's always that one guy. You'll be in your house drinking cocoa, staying warm, watching how the Grinch stole Christmas or something.
There's this
one dude in a
plaid
white
shirt and
t-shirt just trudging along in the snow.
And
because
he might
needs to
even
get a
have his
beer.
sliders on.
Like,
And so with here's what they did. I warned them. I said, listen, because again, it's a very big culture shock moving from New England to anywhere else in the country. Very big culture shock because everything is vastly different outside of New England. And we didn't realize that until we moved to the South. And it's a good movie, by the way. Thank you, Natanya. See, Peachy, you make good choices. So
I've only seen it once. I don't remember it.
So here's what I told them. I said, because we live all the way down a very rural road. As you guys know, I'll say I live where the banjos play. So we live almost 10 miles into a very farmland, still in town. And I told them, if you hear snow is coming, do not plan to go out that day. And they were like, we know how to drive in the snow. I'm like, I didn't say anything about you, asshole. I said don't plan to go out anywhere. Why? Because you're not going to get to do anything. And they didn't believe me. Well, one, the day that we all shut down, it was like 3 years later, we had one more snow. That's the last time we really had snow here in North Carolina. Good night, Desert Jack.
Night.
They all went out after I warned them. And my brother was like, what the fuck's wrong with this town? Everything's shut down. I'm like, no. I wonder who told you about that. He discovered they don't plow. Because legally, it's an act of God here in North Carolina. So that's why apartments legally are not forced to plow or lay down salt anywhere during a snow in North Carolina, except for in the mountains where there's typically snow. Here's why. It is not a natural occurrence. It doesn't happen every year. It is not something that normally happens here. So they legally don't have to do anything. So they can let you slip and slide your ass all over, which my apartment complex did. I usually went out and I personally would shovel with my dustpan. I would go out and I would shovel because I had a woman upstairs who was pregnant and an 83-year-old neighbor. And so I didn't want to see them break their necks. So I would personally go out and I would stop right at their door because they're the only neighbors that I liked. I would start at their door and I would scrape everything off with my dustpan. And then I do the stairs and then I do right in the front of my house, my apartment. And that was it. And then I would go out and buy salt afterwards and salt it because and that is why with North Carolina, the funniest thing is, remember, this is 2014. They were like, well, we're not used to it. I'm like, it's called fucking Google. Like, this is not 1970. You can look it up. You can literally look up what you can do. And so now they just preemptively shut down everything. They don't even try for it. They preemptively shut down the whole damn town for a day or two. And then they let everyone go out and I can't talk. Plow. I wanted to go say mow.
So I got a pretty similar story.
I have one.
This was this was just for like a day or so. So I woke up for school one morning, right? And come to find out, 3 to 4 counties in the state are just covered in black ice.
Ooh.
Now, what do you think the sensible thing to do would be for the school districts? To shut down. Not have the kids go to school. That's the right thing to do.
Well.
But my fucking school district, DMPS.
What's that on your bed?
DMPS. They had the bright idea, the fucking amazing idea to sit there and be like, our district isn't gonna shut down because our students go through the toughest of conditions to learn.
Meanwhile, the students, we don't want to.
Oh, no, don't worry. There were at least 3 different cases of students breaking their arms. From falling. Yep.
I actually have a similar story, but not with black ice. It was due to the actual blizzard that was going on. All the schools in the state shut down, except mine. We were because I remember going through it's like 3 a.m. and you're looking to see if your school's canceled. Literally, news reports were saying all schools are canceled except my school, and I was
no school forced to
and I knew it was bad. Because similar to what Annie just said about there's no heating in their workplace at McDonald's. God bless your soul. God bless McDonald's workers. There was no heating in school. There was no heating in the school system that day. All the kids are freezing. Teachers were so cold they didn't even bother lecturing. They just said, just sit down and do whatever you want. It got so bad. I knew it was bad too when I texted my mom and said, Mom, it's cold. And she was like, I'm just gonna pick you up. I was like,
What was your school district's called?
that never happens. It's
She
a
doesn't
local.
like feeling stuff about herself like that.
Yeah, sorry, but
Do
it's a
you-
local high school.
Do you remember
And
what it was called though?
no, I remember what it's called. I just don't want to say it on stream.
And she doesn't
Roosevelt
like.
Roosevelt High School. That was my high school. You want to know what? They were
Don't shame
assholes.
her. Let's hear. Let's hear stuff. Connor, listen here.
Sir, we were saying you can share what you want. She'll start sharing shit you don't want her to say just cause.
No, but it was it's just, where is it? It's near. It's like 10
No, with
minutes
me in Rhode Island, everyone always knew there was one who always, no matter what, no school, Foster Gloucester, no school, Burrville, every time, because half of Foster Gloucester still is dirt roads today.
away.
So
Ooh.
those kids always miss school. They were always out. But they also have Burrville and Foster Gloucester have some of the lowest test rates in Rhode Island.
Oh.
So
Wait, do you want to know the messed up part about when my mom picked me up?
what?
When I texted her, I was like, "Mom, it's so cold." She's like, I'll come pick you up." And I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." So she picked me up, and I got in the car. I was like, "Oh, shouldn't we tell my brother?" And she just said, "No." I was like,
Oh damn!
I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
So we got home. My brother walked home from school, saw I was home, and was like, "What are you doing home?" And I was like, "I texted Mom and said that she didn't want to be in school." And he was like, "How come you didn't tell me?" I was like, "She said not to tell you." He was like,
Damn!
to this day, I don't know why, but
Probably because she forgot it was
Damn.
probably too much work.
no,
to do
she
for
straight
her.
up just, I said, "Oh, should we tell him?" She was like, "No."
Damn,
I
your
have
mom,
a story.
Okay.
Your mom really do be playing favors though.
It was
Not
very,
usually.
no, not usually. That's the that's the weird part. Like, I genuinely, maybe because he had a big test or something I didn't know about and she wanted him to do it. I don't remember, but she straight up went, "Don't text your brother." I was like, "Oh, okay, jeez."
Well, anyways, what you got to say, Faye? What you got to say?
So I have a story involving snow, and that'll also get us back on topic because it involves Connor's mom.
Uh-oh. Poor
Can I
PJ's
tell
brother.
the story, Connor?
I'm trying to remember what you're talking about.
The time you stayed the night.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Uh-oh. You.
Can I just say, I love how. Oh,
Ooh. Uh-oh.
That's called sciatica.
Ooh.
I
Drink more
love
water.
how people can just
That's a
double
nerve issue.
standard themselves. Like, so bad. Just like, okay. So, last winter, when I was still pregnant, me and Connor were going to D&D. And to go to D&D, because me and Connor no longer live within like a 10-minute drive of each other, I had to drive 40 minutes to his house, pick him up, drive another 20 minutes to D&D, and repeat that drive backwards to take him home and go home.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Connor. I wouldn't do that for my friends. I love them. I don't love them that every time. No. So you
Every
love-
Wednesday.
Oh hell no! I love you all of my friends. Whoever's watching this, get a friend like Faye Queen. I'll gas you up. I'll tell you you're pretty. I'll say you can do it. Do not ask me that.
So,
I'ma ask you it.
before driving got too bad for me, like before I was just kind of over it, we were out one winter and his mother had specifically said to like be careful. There are times that wasn't there a time she even said you couldn't go because of the snow?
She was. So her main shtick was, in her eyes, you were still basically a new driver to her. Because in her defense, she's been driving she drove for a really long time, and she grew up in Massachusetts, New England, all that. So she's used to snow, driving in the snow.
The entire time you've known me, I don't understand what's with your mom because the entire time you've known me, I've had my license.
I know, but I'm like, so in her eyes, though, she considered you still like sort of new to it. Even though I explained to her that You drove fine in snow, and Garrett drove through snowstorms. He knew what he was doing if he was behind the wheel. You both can drive just fine. But she would always get worried.
Yeah.
Mm.
And see, like, I get this, but this is going to lead into the other part of the story because she would say things like to be careful. And I was pregnant at the time. So she was like, "You're carrying my precious cargo and your precious cargo." I get it. And if I feel like I can't drive in it, we're not going anywhere, right? We're not going anywhere. Either my husband drives because he's better at it than me, or we don't go anywhere. We will sit there until the cows come home. Like, don't care. Now, this particular day, we were heading back to Connors, which is only a 20-minute drive. We're heading back to Connors. We get like 5 to 10 minutes into the ride, and it's coming down bad. I'm just all like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. I flipped the car around. I was like, we're going to my house because I was not taking him home, driving back the other 40 minutes to get myself home, and it's getting worse. I was like, nope, we're going to my house. I flipped around, saw that it was only going to take like 30 minutes to get back to my place instead of taking an extra 40 after dropping him off. It's like, call your mother, tell her you're staying the night, that I don't feel safe driving in this, and I'll bring you home tomorrow. And so we get back to my place. He stays the night. And what was it your mother said?
She, I believe, the entire thing was she called me in the morning and then said, "When are you going to be home?" And I told her I didn't know when I was going to be home
No, I mean that
because
night she said something to you because it pissed me off.
I think it was something along the lines of, "Oh, well, why can't uh Garrett drive you home when he gets home, or why can't they just get you a Lyft or Uber?" And then she was going on about, "Well, you need to be home to be able to take out the dog and whatnot. I need you home." And I was trying to explain to her, I can't do that.
Because,
And
like, she literally expected us to A, spend money or go back out in that to take him home.
Now, let me play devil's advocate. Is there a possibility she was saying all that just so she could get you home for no other reason than she didn't like that you were not there safe with her?
no, she just wanted me here to be able to do shit for her.
Hey, I don't tell you that, my man.
My absolute can I tell the gas station story, the one that really got me pissed off with your mom and got her pissed off with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So his mom seems to think that the world revolves around what she wants to do, right? So she'll do this thing where I'll go pick him up and we'll go out in 20-minute drive. And normally I don't mind making stops. Usually we get there, we stop at a gas station, we get a soda for D&D, we hit a restaurant and get some drive through and we eat there. So I don't mind making a couple of stops, but that's how we usually do it. We planned. I picked him up, we got something to eat, we got a soda, we went to D&D. His mom would text or call and say, "Hey, make this stop and get this. Make this stop and get this." And I got tired of it because it would always be on the drive home that we would get that message, or while we were at D&D, and it would be last minute that we would get that message. "Hey, stop and get this. Stop here and get that." And so I finally told him, "Tell your mother that if she wants me to make extra stops, she has to pay for the gas for said extra stops. This is my car. I decide where it goes and where we stop. That's it. And if she wants extra stops, she needs to ask me to make extra stops. Again, my car, I choose where it goes and if I want to make extra stops. She has not asked me if I'm cool with making extra stops." And I was pregnant at this time, so I was like done with all the bullshit, like done with all of it. I was like, no, she's going to ask me if she can make those extra stops. So Connor relays the message to her of what I said, that she needs to ask me and offer something if she wants me to make extra stops. If it's like a little 5-minute stop down from his house, I don't care, because we used to go to the grocery store and I would let him stop there. It was like right down the street from his house. straight line, didn't matter much. But making extra stops, finding a Casey's or a gas station or a specific store because she wanted a specific item, it's like, no, you have to ask me. You're taking my time and my gas. She told Connor after he relayed that message that if he ever talked to her like that again, that she was gonna slap him in the face.
Ooh.
I mean,
It wasn't even his message.
I was gonna say,
Trust me, just yesterday, uh, so I sometimes sleep in, and I get woken up, and my mom is like, "I need you to come over to your grandmother's because we need you to go to the store." Now I can understand this because my grandmother cannot drive, and I know that sometimes she needs something picked up for her that is important for her, and I'm fine with that. I get there, and my brother is on a voice call with my second oldest brother. Now, every Sunday, we come over to my grandmother's to do her yard. Not out of obligation, but because she can't exactly be paying the people to come and do it all the time. So we do it for her. But I guess my brother had plans today. So it's 1 in the afternoon. It's already hot as shit. And he tells my brother over voice call, well, if he's over there, why don't we just do the yard today? And I said, I'd rather do it on Tuesday because that's his other day off. And then my mother chimes in. She's like, no, why don't you do it today? Do it today. I tell her, I'd rather not do it today. And she basically just says, no, fuck you. You're going to do it today.
Mm.
So I go to the store. I come back. And then she decides to say, well, our dog Chewy always comes over on yard days. Why don't you go back and get him? And I said I was very annoyed at that point, and I said, no, I'm not going to go back and get him. No. And my aunt, who is on call, decides to fucking chime her dumbass and basically say, don't you ever talk to your mother with that kind of attitude again, or I'm gonna pop you in the mouth. Mind you, she has never once, ever, like, if she tries to intimidate anybody, she gets her husband. Because he's a big biker man, blah, blah, blah. She is always hid behind a man. And I'm not joking about that. She once had a millionaire boyfriend who owned oil companies and then dumped him because he wanted to forward their relationship. And she did not like that.
Forward their relationship?
marriage.
Yes. He wanted to go, because they had already been dating for like a year. And he wanted to further the relationship from dating to like...
He wanted to be more serious.
Yeah.
But she didn't take it that seriously.
No. She basically told him, go fuck yourself.
Oh, so she strung him along. That's nice.
Yep.
It's probably more like she wanted to be able to call the shots and she didn't. Like, I guarantee you, she's probably kicking herself now for it. And the only reason she got mad about it is because she wanted to call the shots and decide what was going to happen and when.
Oh, she's in a relationship where her husband, she knows he cheats on her, but she doesn't say anything.
Exactly. That's called shame, dude. I know women like this.
Yeah, he makes a decent amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna like bullshit here. He's a snake in the grass too. He can be a fucking asshole. But both of them combined, they're fucking made for each other. They're both snakes in the grass. Like, so my grandmother's husband, a few years back, he passed away.
What?
Oh.
I don't know. Anyway,
This is what.
Anyway, as I was saying, basically, my grandmother's husband at the time passed away. And this was still when she was living in Massachusetts, living in the same house that she had been living in when they grew up there. So it's a really old house. So, plan was when she unfortunately passes, we would get the old house. And my aunt tried to chime in and say, no, I want it because I want a summer home. Mind you, her current husband builds properties and sells properties and owns a large amount of land. They own a farm.
That sounds nice.
And she wanted that house because she wanted a fucking summer home.
Typical.
And we all basically said no, that's not fair to us. And so she convinced my grandmother to move out here to Iowa. And my grandmother, soon after her husband passed, got my mother and my aunt plane tickets out to Massachusetts for the funeral. And my mother was planning on staying with her alongside my aunt until she either decided she was okay to be alone again or she wanted to come out here. And like a month goes by, and I guess my brothers were having some issues paying electric because, in their defense, they never done it before. But it's simple. So once you do it once, you basically learn how to do it every other time. They just needed help the one time. And I, unfortunately, at that time, had come down with a bad case of sickness. I was sick. So, behind my mother's back, my aunt basically convinced my grandmother to send my mother back to Iowa. And the reason why she wanted to do this was they'll never admit it because obviously they're not going to admit to this, but she wanted Ma gone because she wanted to basically, she is a major shit talker and will shit talk behind our backs, behind my grandmother's back. Hell, she'll talk shit about her own husband. And she was out there for like a year, basically filling my grandmother's head with all sorts of bullshit. Now, currently, my grandmother has gotten better, but she is still a major asshole to my ma sometimes. And because of my aunt, essentially my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother all basically feel that if I leave, I'm abandoning them. And that I can't leave yet until, I don't know, I guess my mother fucking dies. Which, she's a chain smoker who refuses to quit. She was just recently in the hospital for it, mind you, and she still isn't quitting. She says she is, but she's not going to. She's been
This
saying
one
that
lit
since I
up
was...
right in front of me when I was pregnant.
She
They didn't even give me the courtesy of like letting me know so I could leave the like room. No, just grabbed one and lit up.
But yeah, no, so my family likes to have the belief that family is family. Friends are not family, they are friends. It does not matter how long you've known person, they are not blood. So You do not put them before your family. In other words, it does not matter if you want to do something. If your family wants you to do it, you have to do it because that's what you do. That's what you do for the family. Mind you, this is being said by the same woman who would gladly throw out her own son onto the streets if he pissed her off enough.
It makes sense, and that's what I'm saying. Like you're explaining all these people to us. Like again, it. The fact is there? So there's no other guy. I'm assuming from what you're saying, there's no other guy in the life besides you and your brothers. Am I correct in
Uh,
that?
I do not have sisters. Yes, I only have me and my 3 older brothers. I am the
Okay, but there's
youngest.
no other men in the household besides your aunt's husband.
Nope.
Okay,
There,
so
my grandmother used to date her husband's brother shortly after.
that's very common.
That's a common thing to happen.
It's a common thing that
And
happens.
he was not a bad dude. He was
It's
he's
not.
actually really nice.
It's not uncommon to
It's
date
not
your.
uncommon for a
No.
widow to date her. It's not uncommon for a widow to date a sibling of the husband, especially if the husband is single, because you got to realize that's a form of mourning. So what happens is the wife and the sibling, they're both missing that person, so they find common ground in it. It happens a lot. But here's what I will tell you: going back to your aunt, I'm gonna tell you right now. I stand from everything you said. I still stand by what I said. She is mad. She let that millionaire go. It's why she settled for a dude that cheats on her because she's too prideful to admit she picked shitty the second time while she let the good guy go. So
Oh,
of course
don't worry.
she's not gonna talk about it.
Oh, don't worry. She is not only prideful, she's egotistical, she's a
Mhm.
hypocrite, she's a general asshole.
Yep.
She has been into the hospital more times than I can count for her heart. They have told her, you cannot be drinking, do not be drinking alcohol, and she is a raging alcoholic
Of course.
that
Because again,
refuses to accept it.
and that's that literally you're just painting the picture even more. She does not like when she's not in complete and control of the situation.
Nope.
So when he asked her to marry him, that probably disrupted some plan she had. And so she thought she could control him by kicking him out and thinking he'd probably come running back or whatever, what have you. Or he'd wait around, and when he probably didn't, because the man's probably a better catch than she is, moved on. As for your mom, what she is doing is they're all using this family thing against you because they have no men in their life to attach to. So that's why they're
I know.
using that against you. You are essentially the pseudo husband.
I know.
And so your mom does this to you. And listen, I will tell you right now, some of what you said is very typical in Italian families, but we don't take it to that extreme. They're a family. Like, there's people that I call aunt and uncle that are my blood, but are not blood. They might as well be blood. But I will tell you, like, I was threatened multiple times that I was going to get smacked, but not for that. It's not fair to demand of someone who just so happens to be driving you that they just have to follow your orders.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not how it works. Like
Don't worry.
that's not you not doing for the family. She just can't follow the orders.
My mother has a very commanding person, and if she doesn't have her way, she gets pissy.
Bitch is like a little child.
Oh, she
She would
is.
not like me, in other words.
She is very childish at times. She can be very selfish. Um, she's terrible with money, by the way.
Mhm.
The reason why we're poor is because she's terrible with money. She refuses to quit smoking, which that alone
Once, real quick,
is
Rachel says that she's going to be honest. This is really close to how some of the men at recovery centers explain how they ended. Hold on. How they ended up there after trying to self delete.
I'm not gonna say I've gotten to that point. Um, I will definitely say I am very shocked that I am not in a fucking mental asylum. But uh
I would say even more than, and we have highly recommended to Peachy on this channel to get out of where she lives. More so than anyone, I would recommend to you, um, don't even worry about a plan. Just find somewhere you can go and just go.
Well, Faye's already offered me her and her husband have already offered me a home there.
I would take it if I were you.
My
You're
plan,
young.
my current plan is, out of respect for my grandmother, because I do still care about her, is to wait till she gets her prosthetic and she can walk on it regularly, because I personally would not feel right up and just immediately leaving like that.
Does she
Not
treat you poorly as well?
She doesn't necessarily treat me poorly. She just expects a lot out of us, which I guess could be seen as a bad. Knock it off!
Ooh.
Sorry, cats were attacking each other. Um, they just.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's how cats sound when they fight.
I thought that was like a
Yeah.
cartoon playing in the background or something.
No, that was cats.
Do you want to tell them about the dog story, and then we'll let some people ask you some questions?
So as I said
Oh, I'm
earlier,
sorry, buddy.
we unfortunately had to put down our very old dog this year. Her name was Sasha. She was a half shit. She was like a Shih Tzu or a Shih Tzu bred with a different breed, and that causes
She was half
her,
a shit.
yeah. And her
That
nose,
causes her a lot of issues.
her nose was very scrunched up. Her
Like a pug?
kinda, yeah. She would actually snort.
Phallic.
She'd
Sounds
snort.
like a pug. Yeah.
And she unfortunately she got to that point where um like I said before, she had a really bad trachea and really bad breathing problems, especially near the end of her life. And essentially, when we had taken her in, she was at the point where she was not getting enough oxygen, and she was very, very slowly, basically dying on the inside.
Most brachycephalic dogs are like that.
So the vet basically said it would be best to just put her down. Unfortunately, my mother personally could not take it because for her, Sasha was pretty much her support animal. But when we first got Sasha, Sasha was attached to my hip. I was the first person she attached herself to. And yeah, I complained about the dog a lot at near the end of her life, but I said, out of respect for the dog, because I do love her, I will stay with her when she goes, and you can go wait with my grandmother in the car. So I basically had to watch the dog die, which it was peaceful. It was calm. They just injected her and she rested her head. And now my mom was obviously grieving. And one thing that we agreed on when we had gotten home was until we have more income in the house, because as it stands, sometimes we have issues with feeding the dogs and our cats and whatnot. I told Ma that we can't get another dog until we have a better source of income. She agreed to that. She agreed that we would not get another dog. But she kept looking at fucking dogs on the ASRP. And I told her, you need to stop doing that because you're going to impulse buy. She didn't listen, of course. Now, we have a fucking rat terrier whose name is Chewy.
Aw.
He's very hyper, and I hate it.
Aw.
Not because he's a bad dog, but because
No, I get it. I get it.
I don't have the energy for him. and we live in a shitty apartment complex where he can't
Run around.
exactly.
No, I completely get it.
And no, Rachel, I know it was not impulse. I know she wanted to find a replacement because she was grieving and she wanted that support animal again.
The problem is that she doesn't take care of the dogs.
No, she doesn't.
She literally makes him do it. Like before we would even have to go to D&D, if I picked him up too early, there were times we had to go back to his place so he could take out the dog before we were allowed to leave town.
And
Come here.
unfortunately, I mean, I told her, do not get the dog. We can't afford it. Didn't listen. And now, every Sunday, whenever I have to go over, I have to take the dog over, which he
Hello.
isn't. I'm not going to say he is short a few brain cells, but he likes to choke himself
Ooh.
on the collar.
That's very typical, especially of high energy dogs. It's not about being stupid. It's the fact is he is trying. So there's one thing I know with animals. The thing is, when you take a high energy dog, especially rat terrier, which are hunting dogs, and you give them nothing to do, they're gonna find something to do. And so sometimes that'll be them running at full speed and getting caught on stuff, or if they're on a lead or any kind of leash, they're gonna choke themselves out just because they aren't able to fire properly. They're not able to make proper judgments because there's so much pent up energy. It comes out in bad ways.
Yep. I keep telling her I don't want to walk this dog. I do not like him choking himself like that because he's gonna have the same damn throat problems as our previous dog. She doesn't listen.
Is there anyone that you know of that might be able to take him in, or
No, and she won't get rid of him.
Hmm.
She's not going to get rid of him.
I would highly recommend, if you have no choice in dealing with this dog right now, which it clearly seems like you don't, getting him a full chest harness. That would be the first thing. And you can also, a really good thing to do. I don't know how educated you are in dogs, but a great way to stop him from choking himself out is a jerk. And I mean that seriously. Have his collar. Orion, come here, bud. I'm going to show you. I know you were just laying down. Come on.
It's like, yes, mother.
Hey, come here. Can you come up for me? I know you're tired. It's midnight. Hup. Come on.
Yeah, I think my dog is waiting for me to get to bed because he's like, it's time. It's sleepy time.
I know. There's a lot of you. You can do it. Come here. Good boy. Have it up here when you're walking him, and when he's doing wrong, you jerk. And I mean hard. And you force him into a sit. The reason why this cuts off just enough right under here will cut off enough if it's a hard jerk. Not like obviously ripping him off the ground. He's a rat terrier. But giving him a good enough jerk where it stops him, and then you put him in a sit, you force him to wait. When you're letting him drag on the leash like that and you're pulling back, you're just creating more tension. And that tension just gives him, it energizes him, it builds him up. He needs more. But if you force him to stop, eventually he'll start learning. He's not going to get to see all those amazing things he wants to sniff and look at without your permission. And that's what Orion is a classic puller. Now I can walk with him no problem. I have him. He's 110 pounds though. So he has a head harness. He has a chest harness. But when I walk with him, I never have any problems. Now my husband has a very hard time walking him because my husband will do that yanking. He'll do that pulling. He has high anxiety and he lets that go down the leash. You already don't enjoy walking that dog. So when you get on the leash with him, you're prepared for a bad time. The dog senses that. So the dog eats off that energy. and is not going to give you a good time. So that's my recommendation. If you're forced to deal with this dog right now and you've got no choice in the matter, this will give you short term. A full body chest harness also really works well, just because at least he's not damaging his larynx.
It's pointed this way. You're fine as long as you don't go to the front door.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem walking the dog if I didn't have to walk, because I'll walk the dog when it needs to use the bathroom. That's fine.
Right.
It's just having to walk the dog all the way from our house to my grandmother's house, which is a pain in the ass. And I don't know. I just like it's gotten to the
No,
point.
Rachel, there will not be a hubby reveal.
Um, the worst part is, right? I guess the worst part about my entire situation
He just
is
had a shower. He's not dressed. There will not be a hubby reveal.
I can't get a job with my mother on Section 8. Not because you know, they don't allow you to get a job. They let you get a job. But what Section 8 likes to do is they want you to stay on Section 8. So essentially, you get a job. They say, that person in your house has a job. Therefore, he can pay that share of the rent.
Yeah.
And
That's
we,
the thing.
yeah, and we take money out of what we give you, and we up your rent to compensate. You will also get less food stamps, and depending on how much you make in a month, depends on how much they fuck you. I can't get a job because of that. Now, I want to work. I want to get a job because I want to get out of here. I've wanted a fucking job since I was 15.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back, you guys.
Yep, no worries. And I just haven't been able to. But my fucking genius of an aunt, my fucking know-it-all of an aunt, is constantly sits there and is like, "Why don't you have a job yet? You need to get a job. You're making excuses. Stop making excuses."
Unless you're going to start getting a $20 an hour job that works you 40 hours a week, it is not worth it.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know that full well. This economy is shit.
It is. It really is.
Don't worry. I just not too long ago had a 41-year-old asshole sitting there telling me you need to stop being lazy and get off your ass and work. Because when I was your age, I was working.
Yep.
And I own a business now. I can do what I want. I don't give a fuck if you own a business. Good for you. I don't. Jackass.
Or the people who say something like, "Oh, just travel, just do it when you're young. Just do it. Just go do it." It's like, "Yup."
I'll do that with my non-existent money. Yep.
The problem is a lot of them believe, and it is possible, and I love you, Peachy, but you are definitely not the person that could do this. You can absolutely travel with zero money, but you got to rely on the charity of strangers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You've got to be good at picking those strangers, and I love you, Peachy. But you are too trusting, my darling, and too forgiving. But no, and I will say this, I get what they're saying, and I wouldn't mind if it was your fault and your choice. Because then I'd be like, well, too bad, they're right. But this is a matter of they know who your mother is. Clearly they know her situation.
And they don't care.
And they don't care. This is the problem. So it's technically it's your mother's fault.
I know
if
it
you
is.
get down to it.
I know full well it is. Trust me. If it wasn't for my grandmother's current situation, I would have already made sure this house was fucking spotless and left. I would have taken myself off the fucking lease and I would have just left and not answered any calls. I'm just fucking honestly, I'm just tired of getting fucking mentally and emotionally manipulated.
And a
It's
kid your
fucking
age should
it's
not be
annoying.
having these problems. That's the thing. Like you're 20 years old. My coworker, Honest Tom, is what everyone calls him. I couldn't imagine him having to go through this, and he's only a year younger than you. and he's running the kitchen at my job, and it's his first job, and he was thrilled to get it. I could not imagine him having to go through all that. He's thankfully, well, I'm sad because Honest Tom is one of those people I would adopt as an adult. Would absolutely love to adopt him as my kid. I love this kid so much. And I just imagine someone his age having to go through all that. And it's very disheartening for sure.
Oh, trust me, I'm also a man, which means I don't
It's
get
okay for you to get abused.
I don't get to talk about my feelings. I don't. If I'm sad, I can't talk about that because that makes me weak.
And the thing is, what I love is a lot of feminists like to come out there and say we want men to be able to open up, but then the moment that they do, they sit there and go that these are men that they always blame women. Oh, they always treat us like we're the bad guys. Oh, this is a toxic male mentality.
And here's the thing, by the way, that I hear a lot of people, the clapback, if you will, that people give of why men don't give their the moment there. There's a huge difference between someone sharing their emotion and how they're feeling, whether it be negative or positive, and then there's chronic complaining.
Right.
Like, for example, Rune, if you came home from a tough day at work and you say, hey babe, how was your girlfriend's like, hey babe, how was work? And you're like, oh man, it was terrible. This happened, that happened. Joe called out, so I had to do XYZ while I was still working overtime. And they're not even going to pay, expressing your grievances and how bad you feel. And then there's the, I don't know, every single day you come home. Oh, this, I got in the middle of traffic. Oh, this poor, I saw this really, there's a huge difference between the two of them.
I wouldn't, I'm not the kind of person that complains so much about having to work, because I've done a lot of physical work already, just for my grandmother alone. So, having to do a little bit extra.
Oh.
Sure, it's annoying, and I'll probably bitch about it, but I'll get it done. I'm just at the point where it's like I'm tired of not being asked. I'm being told to do it.
Well, because the problem is that while you're being used as pseudo husband, the thing is you are still their child. So that comes from very old school mentality of you don't have to ask your child. It is expected. And I wouldn't mind if you were granted the respect of because the thing is, in my household, it was expected of the kids, but we were still granted dignity and respect and privacy and things like that. And I will say that I've never had I felt it, but typical kid stuff. And if I aired my grievances, my mom and I would hash it out. We would talk about it. There would be apologies, and what, I shouldn't have said it this way. All right, I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't seem like that happens with you.
I've tried doing it, but I always basically get told, well, you shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. So, yeah, that apology is expected. At this point, I can't, if I show even an ounce of attitude after, bullshit, I get basically told, you better fucking stop it with that. Because, I can't show that I'm annoyed when you ask me to do one thing, and then when I get there, you tell me to do two other things that you didn't say you didn't ask me to do before I had even left.
I definitely understand it being an issue.
Me being upset at that's just unreasonable. How dare? How fucking dare?
Do you ever think there could be a compromise with your mom on that?
No. I flat out have been telling her, you don't ask me, you just fucking say you're doing it. And I don't want to put up with that anymore. And she doesn't have a response to it. She just fucking gives me that dumb fucking look. Like, the fuck you just say?
Well, my question is this: so, like, is there a balance of when you want to walk away and have your privacy and be left alone? And do they give you that, or is it a matter of you have to carve it out and then you have to cling to it kind of situation?
I have to cling to my privacy. The only things I get privacy for are my phone, what's on my computer, and that's that. I do not get privacy when my mother is home because she'll fucking just call me out of my room from the damn living room.
Well, calling you is one thing. I'm saying, do they like storm into your room? Do they invade your space?
They do not storm into my room now. I will say that my mother will let me have privacy for certain things. But a lot of other things, she will constantly want to know all sorts of shit. And
I mean, that's a very mom thing. Like I'm hearing a mixed bag of very not good things that your mom does, mixed with very normal mom things that I think is just I think because she's done so many shit things, the normal mom things are just compounding into a worse thing for you. Even if for most kids they'd be like, it's normal.
oh, trust me, I'm 20 years old and I'm not ashamed to say it. I hold a lot of fucking resentment for my mother.
Take her bottle
Just
and make me a
for the
bottle.
fucking fact that she refuses. She absolutely refuses to learn how to spend money. We could be out. We could save yearly. We could be out of this fucking dump and living in a much better apartment complex if she just learned how to save. If
Well, that's
she
the thing.
just learned how to budget. But she refuses. She refuses to do that. We have tried and tried again to, tell her,
do 6.
look, why don't you let us try to help you budget? It's simple. But no, she's too stubborn. She basically just says no.
It's
No.
probably because it's confusing to her. And so rather than admit, no, that's very difficult for me and it's an intimidating thing for me to learn, it's not about being stubborn, like she doesn't want to learn. I think it's a matter of because she never had to learn, now that she would have to have, of all things, her kids teach her, it will probably embarrass her. You'd be surprised how much of it she probably would love. Like, people like her, from what I'm gathering, are people that she would probably adore learning and benefiting. But the fact is, she would then have to admit that she needs her children to do that for her. And that is probably going to ding her pride way too much.
Oh, don't worry. She already likes to sit there and, she's literally degrading. Her bones are degrading. They are telling her, you need to start moving more. You need to start getting more exercise because she is unfortunately overweight. She needs to start moving. She needs to, stop smoking. And the fucking doctors have told her this for years. But she's so fucking stubborn that she doesn't do it. When she's here, she doesn't even get her own fucking ice. She has me get it.
Now, is she literally incapable of doing it?
No, she can do it. But she'll give the fucking excuse that she's in too much pain to do it. And every time we call her out on her pain, she fucking says, if you had to live a day in my shoes, you wouldn't understand.
I mean, I live every day in her shoes and I do it.
I am 20 years old with minor back problems because when I was fucking 13, she would send me to the fucking store daily when we got our food stamps. 2 fucking miles to the goddamn Dollar General, carrying back at least pounds of shit on my back. On my backpack. Up steep hills, mind you. And I would do this daily. And I have minor back problems as a result of it. I've woken up feeling like I'm going to fucking I can't move. I still fucking get up and do it. And I fucking push through my fucking pain. And I don't bitch about
every
it.
day.
But
Also, in case anyone wonders what I'm doing, I'm not just sitting here doing nothing.
it's just she likes to basically bitch about her own pain, but I go through a lot of my own. Mind you, I don't take painkillers or anything like that. I have to fight it out.
Mm.
Hello, agent.
And I have to do fucking physical labor. Do you know how much that sucks? Having to push a mower?
Oh, we do. You got to realize something, honey. I don't know how old I look to you, but I'm 36. I have arthritis in both knees. I have sciatica. I just got through being 400 pounds plus. I was almost 450 only about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I work a very labor intensive job. I am an assistant manager at a small restaurant, but I don't just manage the restaurant. I wash dishes. I was a waitress. I help with the cooking. I have all different things. And so I don't know how old your mother is, but she can't be much older than me.
She's 56.
She's 56. Okay. So she's got 20 years on me. That's really not that much in the grand scheme. And my father is 73 with 2 replaced knees. He has 2 torn rotocuffs. He's had more surgeries than I have years of living. He's missing bones in half of his feet. He has this entire hand wrapped up all the time with carpal tunnel. And he does more. And now you can tell your mother next time you want to bring it to the table, tell her, you know people that do it. My mother, God rest her soul, she had 2 interned ankles. She had fibromyalgia. She had a hiatal hernia, and she had sciatica. My mother, while she would dictate what she couldn't do, she did her damnedest to clean whenever she could. And what took her out was cancer at 65. And it was the most curable cancer there is. And so I tell you this because my mother, in a lot of ways, is dead. There's quite a few reasons, but one of them also was she didn't listen. She got scared and she ignored health problems. So you can tell your mother, if she wants to keep ignoring them, go right ahead. Go right ahead. It's nice and easy to stick your head in the sand because then doesn't exist. But she can feel it draining, which is why she's having, because for a long time I had to have my husband help with a lot of shit. I do what I could, but there was a lot that I literally physically couldn't. I just wasn't strong enough. And if she wants to keep it up, she can go right ahead. But it's going to hit her one day, probably right after you move out, that she has done that much damage to herself.
Oh, yeah.
When it hurt only a little bit, she'd rather hand it off to you. And so when it hurts a lot of it, and she got no one around. So I call BS. Everyone I know is in pain. Everyone. Because we've all been doing, everyone I know that's poor, at least. Because we've all done heavy labor intensive jobs. And I don't know about Peachy, I don't know about Faye. But I can tell you about everybody that I know. And everyone that I know that's a parent or is married, pretty much all of my friends, has some kind of severe physical pain. Bad. And they push through it. One of my best friends, I love her to death. She's a psychopath, but I love her. She has nerve damage over half her body from a 500-pound man and the machine lifting him, falling on her.
Ooh.
And she still works through it. I have another friend who has walking pneumonia. She has I think she has fused sections of her spine. She potentially has breast cancer.
breast.
And she has, well, I say it like that because we're not quite sure.
Right.
She has all sorts of problems. She works very hard as well. So it's not that the pain doesn't exist, and that's what you can tell her. This is what you can tell her, because this is what I tell my husband whenever he complains about his pain. I'm not saying the pain doesn't exist. I'm not saying that you're not in pain. But our world doesn't stop existing because you're in pain. We cannot hit pause on our life till you're out of pain. You either push through it to get everything done, or you sit there and you let your life rot away. You don't pay your bills, you don't feed your pets, and then you'll be out on the street with dead animals, nothing to your name. But at least you won't be pushing yourself through the pain. Harsh reality, but it's true.
Rachel's been giving him some pretty good advice in chat. And then also, does anyone have any questions for Connor?
Let's get to the question part. I know there's probably dying to ask me like all sorts
How
of.
did he get such a luxurious beard?
What
is
is your
my-
one dream job?
What is my dream job? I don't know.
OnlyFans.
Look, if I'm gonna start an OnlyFans,
His dream job is to be on OnlyFans and to be a mother.
if it's going, fuck you. If it's gonna be OnlyFans, it's gonna be my feet, baby. Feet pics. That's what I'll sell.
You'd probably make a pretty penny off that too. I'm not gonna lie.
I know I would. The foot fetish community would be dying.
I know I would, because I've actually been complimented on my feet, but that's another story. It's okay, Agent. Don't worry about it.
My favorite
It's okay.
My favorite Halloween movie. I don't have a favorite because I don't really watch Halloween movies.
You gotta be
I might
asking
be
him
cutting out
questions
soon,
related
by
to
the
the
way,
topics,
kids.
guys.
Yeah, I gotta go at some point a little bit too, because I have something to do tomorrow. Got a very important thing to do.
I'm just exhausted, and also the cat box
I'm
needs to be
tired, too.
switched.
How many siblings do I have? I have 3 older brothers. I am the youngest.
And they all do feet pics now.
One
Run
works at Dollar General. One works at a Fairway, and the other one has his own issues and can't work right now.
Mm.
I took you to zero.
Ever thought about going, if you can, go back to school?
I turned 21 in January, so I cannot do that. Realistically speaking, if I were to, I would not be able to get enough credits to be able to graduate. My
I'm sorry.
best bet would
The thing
be
is, Connor,
to
about
get my
that real
GED.
fast, like not meaning to interrupt you, but there are programs out there that let you finish out your diploma even if you are over the age of 21. And you also have the option of your GED.
Unfortunately, this is probably not a shock to anybody, but I am a high school dropout. Thanks to, well, for one, COVID.
Mm.
2, home life. And 3, I will never hear the end of it because of, my aunt. She constantly likes to remind me that I am a dropout and a failure because of it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, trust me. He's great. I'm not. I'm stable.
You seem to be the most stable one in your family at the moment.
This is true. But,
But like Faye Queen said, though, I'm pretty sure like there are programs out there that can help you go for your GED, and that will definitely open some doors for you if that's something you're ever interested in trying.
I do eventually want to get my GED, yes. Right now, I kind of just want to like focus on eventually, getting a job, saving up a good amount, as much as I can, viably, to live on my own for a little while. Unfortunately, with today's economy, I do not see that working out well anytime soon. But, you know, at the end of the day, I just want to get away from this family.
I kind of get. I'm in a similar boat, but coming from a different direction. But we have the same similar destination.
I personally, I just want to get away.
Yeah,
Just today, right? I was asked to go to the store again. I get there, and then my ma mentions to me that she thought, why don't me and two of my brothers get an apartment at our previous complex? And I told her, no, I do not want to do that. I want to do what I already planned. And she said, why not? And I told her, I have a plan and I want to stick to that said plan. And then she said, she basically said, well, it's just a recommendation. I called her out on that. I said, no, it's not a recommendation. You wanted me to do it specifically because you don't want me to leave. You want me to be close by so you can keep asking me to do stuff. You're not giving me a recommendation. You're basically saying, this is how I want it done. And then she was like, I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it. And I told her, I have a plan and I want to stick to it. And she said, well, that's just because you don't want to have to deal with us.
Yeah, you're the bad guy.
Shit. No shit, I don't want to deal with you. Good fucking deduction skills.
Oh, I'm sorry you're dealing with this, Rune. It's tragic, almost.
Oh, trust me.
I really do think if you can somehow
all right, kids, I'm falling asleep. No, not that your stories aren't good. I'm tired.
No, I get it. I'm exhausted too, but I guess we should kind of wrap things up though. But before you go, or anyone goes, I do think if you really wanted, if you like as a last resort, I think streaming's a good platform for anyone to try. It's not going to hurt you if you fail. It's going to benefit you if you do well. You have the camera, you have the headset, you have the equipment. All you have to do is find a good converse. You can even have Faye Queen or one of us on with you, and we can just banter. I feel like you could do well if you really put in the work. Just a food for thought.
He's like, maybe.
That's it. Maybe. No, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not trying to pressure you or anything. Especially in this day and age, this is definitely a sort of platform that anyone, and I literally mean anyone, can try if they really want to make like even some decent pocket change. If they really want to try it and make a hobby out of it, or maybe make a career out of it. It's just nice to do. Even I'm making little to nothing with my little platform, but it's fun. And it's something kind of like a fallback if anything goes worst case scenario, right? Making those connections, talking to people, making new friends. It's nice. But yeah,
I just like I said, I just want to get away from this shit.
No, I mean, if it's not for you, it's okay.
I don't know.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm sure I could do fine on Twitch and get at least
not just Twitch, Rumble, Kick,
YouTube, shit like that.
YouTube.
I know I could probably
Actually,
get.
Apparently, YouTube's really hard. Lottie, who is in the chat, moved to Twitch from YouTube because YouTube was harder to get monetized streaming than Twitch was.
But I mean, I kind of want to just like focus on dealing with these problems before I,
focus on anything else. I get it. Yeah, focus on what you need to focus on first. Just to keep things like this in mind for the future.
Okay, baby.
Open up your your options.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head
if you
out
will.
first because I'm getting very tired and my throat's starting to get sore, and we all know what that
Oh.
means. So,
Uh-oh.
well, he doesn't, but you girls do. I love you all. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow night with Hara Murata.
Bye. Hi, Starsan.
Bye,
See you.
everyone.
I think it's about time for us to wrap it up too,
Yeah.
because I am actually tired, and it's 1 a.m. for me, and for probably everyone else too,
Ha!
or at least
It's 12:18 for me.
it's tomorrow. That's the point.
I gotta try to get her in bed and back.
All
to
right,
sleep.
baby Faye, rest up.
What do you want, cats?
All right. Any
Speaking
final
of
words
Ronnie-
that anyone would like to? Oh,
I'm going to be messaging you as soon as we get off of here, so you're gonna be staying up even later. Ha 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 ha.
who, me or? Because I'll be in bed. I'll be with my little nightcap and going making that exact noise.
Are you gonna
That's how I
are you gonna
snore.
do the honk shoe?
Yep. That's how I snore. That's how I do it. No lie.
She just looked at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Me. All right. Any final words, chat, that you'd like to throw out? Like any questions, any concerns, any tips, any credits, any feet pics?
If you guys want a fucking feet pic, I can get my feet up here. My feet are right next to the desk.
Rune, you want to drop your OnlyFans feet channel?
I don't got an OnlyFans feet channel, but I can. If this is gonna get streamed on Twitch, I don't want to do that.
Let's not get crazy now.
Yeah, let's not do that. I'd rather you not
FNAF
get
movie in
banned.
26 days. I enjoyed the episode. Thank you, Aaron Locke, for enjoying the episode. Thank you, guys. That's all I have to say. Aw. But I know, Five Nights at Freddy's. I can't wait for that movie. I'm gonna be so stoked. Is this where you wanna be? Oh, wait, crap. Can we get demonetized for that? Oh no.
Okay,
No!
let's call it here, guys. We're gonna get out of
Yep.
here. All of us are sleepy.
Yeah.
You want me to come back on, Aaron?
We will try to
No
have him
feet
back on. Let me get my mic away from my baby. We will try to have him back on again at some point.
No, mother.
Peachy has come back from her hiatus, so she should be streaming again whenever she does it. I am not sure. You'll have to ask her that at her channel. Leave her some chats. Or, if you're in Discord, talk to her there. I stream Monday through Friday from the time the baby takes a nap to whenever I feel like it. So I will see you guys in the morning. Have a good night. We're ending it there. Peace out. Bye.
Bye!